Imagine waking up every morning in a place that doesn't feel like home, surrounded by strangers, where the walls echo with silence instead of laughter, and the air feels heavy with a sense of loss. That's the reality I stepped into when I moved into a nursing home, a reality I never imagined for myself. I thought I was ready, but nothing prepares you for the moment you realize your independence, your familiar routines, and the life you once knew are slipping through your fingers. This is my story, raw and unfiltered, and it's a story too many of us share. Importance of discussing nursing home. Experiences. Talking about life in a nursing home isn't just a personal confession, it's a necessity. These experiences are often hidden behind closed doors, whispered about but rarely understood. By opening up, we shine a light on the struggles, the quiet battles, and the truths that so many elderly people face. It's not just about venting regret, it's about building a bridge of empathy, raising awareness, and maybe even sparking change. My voice isn't alone. It joins a chorus of others who deserve to be heard, because no one should walk this path in the dark. Introduction of the 6 hard truths. In this video, I'm pulling back the curtain on 6 hard truths about nursing home life that hit me like a tidal wave. Truths I wish someone had warned me about before I packed my bags. These aren't sugar-coated platitudes. They're the gritty, heart-wrenching realities that can make or break this chapter of life. From the slow erosion of independence to the emotional weight you can't unpack, these are the lessons no brochure will ever tell you. Stick with me as I unravel each one, because whether you're facing this decision yourself or standing by a loved one, you need to know what's coming. Truth 1. Social isolation, the crushing weight of loneliness. Imagine waking up to a silence so heavy it feels like it's pressing down on you. That's what mornings in a nursing home can be like. When I first arrived, I pictured a lively community, shared meals filled with chatter, group activities buzzing with energy. Instead, I found a stillness that seeped into my bones. The dining room, with its long tables and flickering fluorescent lights, was more like a ghost town than a gathering place. Residents sat alone, heads bowed over trays, the clink of forks the only sound breaking the quiet. The common room, advertised as a social hub, often housed a handful of people staring at a muted TV, lost in their own worlds. Loneliness here isn't loud or dramatic. It's a slow, creeping ache. Days blend into one another. Breakfast at 7, pills at 8, a shuffle to the lounge, then hours of nothing. I'd watch the world outside my window, kids biking past, neighbors chatting, and feel like I was on the wrong side of a glass wall. I tried to reach out, striking up conversations with a smile or a simple "how's your day?" But the responses were fleeting. A nod, a murmur, or just a blank stare. Many here carry their own burdens, grief, illness, fatigue, and the staff, kind as they can be, are stretched thin, darting from one task to the next. It's not their fault, but it leaves you feeling like a shadow, unseen and unheard. A life once full contrast, that with the life I left behind, and the loss cuts deeper. Before this, my days were a symphony of connection. Mornings meant strolls through the neighborhood, waving to familiar faces who'd call out my name. Afternoons were for coffee with friends, our laughter spilling over the table as we swapped stories. Evenings brought family, my grandkids tumbling through the door, their voices a chaotic, beautiful mess. My home was alive, a hub of love and noise, a place where I belonged. In the nursing home, that vibrancy faded to a whisper. The activities, bingo, a sing-along with a tired piano, felt forced, a weak echo of the spontaneous joy I'd known. Family visits dwindled as their lives sped up, and though I understood, each goodbye left a hollow ache. One night, alone, in my room, I realized my last real talk had been about my pill schedule. My world, once wide and warm, had shrunk to 4 walls and a flickering bulb. That's the truth of social isolation here. It's not just being alone, it's losing the you that used to be. Truth 2. Quality of care. Concerns. The human side of care in a nursing home can be a lifeline or a letdown. Some staff are pure, gold, their warmth cutting through the cold routine. They'd greet me by name, linger for a chat, make me feel human again. But others? They're a different story. overworked, underpaid, or just indifferent. They'd rush through tasks with barely a word, their hands quick but their hearts elsewhere. It's not always malice. Sometimes it's just survival, but it stings all the same. I'll never forget the day I fell. It wasn't dramatic, just a slip that left me on the floor, my hip throbbing, my dignity in tatters. I hit the call button and waited. 10 minutes, 20. The pain was sharp, but the fear was worse, fear that no one cared enough to come. When an aide finally showed, there was no comfort, just a brisk up you go and a warning to watch my step. I lay in bed after, tears prickling my eyes, feeling less like a person and more like a chore. Moments like that strip you bare, exposing the fragile line between care and neglect. Choosing wisely, a make-or-break decision. That's why picking the right place matters so much. It's not just a building, it's your life. I learned too late that you can't trust the polished tours or the smiling brochures. You've got to dig. How many staff per resident? What's their training? How do they handle a crisis? I wish I'd dropped by unannounced, seen the real rhythm of the place, talked to the people living it, not just the ones selling it. A bad choice doesn't just inconvenience you, it chips away at your spirit. Once you're settled, moving feels impossible. Your stuff's unpacked, your routine's set, your energy's spent. I should have taken my time, trusted my instincts, fought for a place where care feels personal, not perfunctory. If you're reading this, don't rush. Ask the hard questions. Your peace and theirs depends on it. Truth 3. Financial burden, the price tag of care. The cost of a nursing home hits like a freight train. They quoted me a monthly fee that seemed doable until the extras piled up. That base rate, it covered a bed, food, basic help. But meds, add a fee. Bathing assistance, another charge. Laundry, outings, even a decent bar of soap. Everything had a price. My savings, scraped together over decades, started vanishing month by month, line by line. It's the hidden costs that blindside you. The generic shampoo stung my scalp, so I shelled out for my own. The shared phone was a hassle, so I got a private line. Every little comfort came with a bill, and soon I was staring at a bank account I barely recognized. One afternoon I sat with my ledger, hands shaking, realizing how fast it was slipping away. It's not just money, it's security, years of work gone in a flash, planning. Ahead, your armor. Here's the truth I wish I'd known. You've got to plan, and plan hard. It's not enough to have cash. You need to know where it's going. I should have talked to an expert, someone who could map out the costs and flag the traps. There's help out there. Medicaid, insurance, benefits. But it's a jungle of red tape. I spent hours on the phone, drowning in forms, chasing answers that never came fast enough. If I could rewind, I'd explore every angle. Home care, assisted, living, anything that might stretch the dollars further. I'd loop in my family early, weigh the numbers against the reality. It's not just about affording it, it's about keeping your dignity intact. Start now. Ask the tough questions. Don't let the burden catch you off guard. Truth 4. Financial burden, understanding the costs. When I first considered a nursing home, I thought I'd prepared enough. I'd saved for years, tucked away a modest nest egg, and figured my retirement funds would cover me. But then the bills started rolling in, and it felt like the ground was crumbling beneath me. The base rate for a shared room seemed reasonable, until I saw what it didn't include. Room and board? Covered. But medications, therapy, even help with getting dressed, those were extra. A private room to escape the constant noise, another hefty fee. Then came the surprises. Charges for a decent shampoo instead of the generic stuff, a phone line to call my kids, or a trip to a special event. Every small comfort had a price. I'll never forget the night I sat with my bank statement, the numbers, swimming as I realized my life savings were draining away. It wasn't just money, it was my security, my pride slipping through my fingers. The costs didn't just add up, they multiplied, leaving me powerless. How do you budget for something that feels like it's taking everything you've got? Planning. For the future. If I could turn back time, I'd tell myself one thing: start planning now. The financial burden doesn't have to catch you off guard, but it will if you don't prepare. Long-term care insurance? I barely knew it existed. Medicaid? A lifeline, but a tangle of rules I couldn't unravel alone. Veterans' benefits or reverse mortgages, options I learned about too late. I spent hours on hold, drowning in paperwork, only to hear not eligible or wait longer. It's exhausting and it's humbling. My advice, get help early. Find a financial advisor who knows elder care, someone who can map out the costs and resources before you're in too deep. Talk to your family. Don't shoulder it alone. It's not just about money, it's about holding on to your dignity. If you're reading this for a loved one, be their advocate. Dig into every option. The earlier you start, the less it feels like a burden and more like a plan. Truth 5. Limited activities and engagement. What's on offer? The brochure promised a vibrant life. Bingo nights, sing-alongs, maybe a craft class or two. When I moved in, I clung to that promise, hoping it'd keep me connected. But reality was quieter. Bingo happened once a week, if enough people showed up. The sing-alongs were the same old songs, crooned off-key by a sweet volunteer who tried her best. Crafts meant gluing things together until you ran out of glue or patience, whichever came first. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't enough, and it didn't fit everyone. If you couldn't hear the music or hold a paintbrush, you were sidelined. I'd see folks parked by the TV, staring at nothing, or gazing out windows at a world they couldn't join. The staff cared, they really did, but they were stretched thin. Engagement became a quick hello, a pat on the shoulder before they hurried off. I wanted more, not just for me, but for all of us, waiting to feel alive again. The impact on well-being. The quiet started to weigh on me. At home, I'd lose myself in books, tend my little garden, wrestle with a crossword until I triumphed. Here, my days blurred together. My books sat untouched, my mind dulled, my body stiffened. It wasn't just boredom, it was losing who I was. Without something to do, something to care about, I felt like I was fading. One day, I sat with a half-finished puzzle, pieces missing, and it hit me. This was my life now, scattered, incomplete. I missed the dirt under my nails, the thrill of a tough riddle, the spark of learning. Here, activity was a checkbox, not a joy, and that's the heart of it. Without stimulation, your spirit dims. We need more than time fillers, we need purpose. Because when you stop growing, you start shrinking. Truth 6. Stigma and misunderstanding, challenging perceptions. People see nursing homes as the end of the line, a place where life stalls, where you're left to wither. I've felt those assumptions, in the way eyes soften with pity when I say where I live. That must be tough, they murmur, picturing gloom and neglect. And sure, there are hard days, but it's not the whole picture. There's laughter over coffee, friendships forged in shared stories, comfort in knowing someone's there when I need them. It's not perfect, but it's not a graveyard either. The stereotypes sting, that we're all miserable, that the care is always poor, that we're forgotten. Some homes struggle, no doubt, but many are lifelines, communities where people still matter. We're not just waiting out our days, we're living them in our own way. If only the world could see that, maybe the pity would turn to respect. Living with stigma, the real battle is inside. Some mornings I look in the mirror and wonder if I'm becoming what they think, a relic, a burden. I've caught the sideways glances, heard the poor thing tone when visitors chat. Once a young woman smiled too brightly and said, "You're so brave to be here," like I'd survived a war instead of chosen a home. It chips away at you, that sense of being less, but I fight it. I remind myself I'm still me, someone who danced to jazz, told terrible jokes, loved fiercely. Living here doesn't erase that. I've started speaking up, sharing my story, refusing to shrink. If you're facing this, hold tight to who you are. The world might misunderstand, but you don't have to. You're not your address. You're your heart, your history, your fight. And that's worth everything. Closing thoughts. These truths, financial burden, limited activities and engagement, stigma and misunderstanding, aren't just facts. They're the pulse of nursing home life. They're tough, they're real, and they demand attention. Whether you're stepping into this world or guiding someone else, don't shy away. Learn the costs, seek the spark, challenge the shame. It won't erase the struggles, but it'll arm you with clarity. And in a journey this raw, that's a quiet strength worth claiming. Conclusion. A heartfelt recap and a path forward as I sit. Here, reflecting on the journey we've shared, I can't help but feel the weight of the truths we've uncovered together. These aren't just lessons from my life, they're the unspoken realities that so many of us face, often in silence. Let me take a moment to walk you back through the 6 hard truths about nursing homes, not to dwell on the pain, but to arm you with the wisdom I wish I'd had. First, there's the loss of independence, that slow, creeping realization that the life you once controlled is slipping away, one small task at a time. Then, the social isolation, where the world outside your window feels like a distant memory and loneliness settles in like an uninvited guest. We talked about the quality of care concerns, where the warmth of a caregiver's smile can make or break your day, and the wrong choice feels like a betrayal. The financial burden hit hard too, watching savings you spent a lifetime building vanish in a blur of bills and hidden fees. And let's not forget the emotional toll, the quiet grief of watching your world shrink while trying to hold on to the person you've always been. Finally, there's the reality of aging, a truth that stares back at you in the mirror, unyielding and raw, reminding you that time waits for no one. These truths aren't easy to swallow, but they're real. And yet here's the thing, it doesn't have to be this way. There's a path forward, one that doesn't lead straight to a nursing home door. If there's one message I want to leave you with, it's this: you have options. Don't let fear or urgency push you into a decision that doesn't feel right. Explore alternatives in home care that lets you stay in the comfort of familiar walls, assisted living that balances support with freedom, or community programs that keep you woven into the fabric of life. The key is to start thinking about these choices now before a crisis forces your hand. Trust me, the peace that comes from planning ahead is worth every ounce of effort. When it comes to finding the right living situation for yourself or a loved one, remember this: trust your instincts. Don't just rely on glossy brochures or rehearsed tours. Visit facilities unannounced, watch how the staff interacts when they think no one's looking, and talk to the people who live there. They'll tell you what the pamphlets won't. Look for a place that feels like home, where kindness isn't just a policy but a way of being. And if you make a choice that doesn't fit, don't be afraid to walk away. Your dignity, your happiness, they're worth fighting for. As I close this chapter, I want to leave you with a final thought. You're not alone in this. Whether you're staring down this decision for yourself or standing beside a loved one, there's a community here ready to listen, to share, and to learn. That's why I'm asking you to do something simple but powerful. Share your story. Have you faced these hard truths, found a solution that worked? Or maybe you're still searching, grappling with the same fears and questions. Whatever your experience, drop it in the comments below. Let's turn this conversation into a chorus of voices, because together we can make this journey a little less lonely, a little less daunting. Thank you for walking this path with me. Here's to finding the light, even in the hardest truths.